Good
Good morning.
morning. How are you?
Still a little jet lagged, coming home, or going west always is a little bit of a jet lag, but I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm not jet lagged, but I definitely did about 62,000 steps in 3 days and then flew home early morning yesterday. So it's not jet lag, it's just pure exhaustion.
Exhausted. No, I totally get that. Whenever I wake up and you're coming home, I wake up and I'm like, in 24 hours, then I will be in bed. It's just that long
It's
day.
a long day coming back.
It is. So, guys, let's jump in. If you're just joining us for the first time, thank you for watching. I am Jason Poole. I am a travel advisor and love talking about all things in the travel industry, from airport lounges to cruise ships, the airline news, everything under the sun about travel. Love talking about it and love talking about it with this girl, Haley. Introduce yourself to someone watching for the first time.
Yes, hello everybody. My name's Haley. I own Hospitality with Flair, which is a hotel sales support company, and I write the travel blog Haley with a Flair. And if I look a little tired today, it's just because I am.
I completely get it. Well, Haley, you and I both just got back from some trips.
We did. I'll let you go first.
Okay. So we talked about this last week. I just did my very first sailing with Regent Seven Seas, and I will have to say I was impressed. I was expecting it to be, an old crowd, kind of curmudgeon-y. It was not. I mean, yes, was it older than a Virgin Voyages crowd? Absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely. But it really had lots of 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, as I get older, 40, I'm like, oh, that's young. And everybody on board had kind of that similar background. They had been all over the place. These are like well-traveled people. And so it kind of hit me that there are some more upbit, higher end brands that I think are great for people who were going across the pond or Asia, wherever for the first time. Not that Regent's not for them. I think it is because a lot of things are included. It definitely caters to the we've been a lot of places crowd.
Okay.
Um,
I
and
think one of the things that you and I find surprising about this brand is like the initial thoughts, if you were to ask me a year or two ago, were like, ooh, that is fancy, that is expensive. But you've also sent me a couple sailings. And
oh, I know. So yeah, we get as a travel advisor, I get access to exclusive deals. We're not allowed to like post them, but we can obviously email them, talk to clients about it. And some of these rates are just, I mean, I've seen some Regent sailings for 2, 3, 4,000 a person, and it's like $2,500 a person for sailing, and that's like all your drinks, your Wi-Fi, your gratuities, all your shore excursions. Like it was so nice to go order a coffee or a drink, and no one said, "So what's your room number? What's your room number?" Because everybody has the drink pack. The drink pack doesn't exist. It's not even a thing. I mean, of course, if you wanted a margarita with Don Julio 1942, you're paying for that.
yeah,
If you want Casas, you're paying for that. But I mean, most things that most people drink, it was great. Customer service was amazing. So as I was getting off the ship on an early flight, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like with my luggage waiting for us to clear at 7 o'clock. So we got off the ship, we go down the gangway, and I'm the second person off. And I see the people who scheduled Regent transfers. They're literally at the foot of the gangway because no passport control, no customs, because we're in the EU. And I was like, dang it, I should have ordered a transfer through Regent, because I ordered it through Black Lane. Love Black Lane. So I get down and I see a person out there from Regent helping. And I said, hi, where do we go for the private transfers that are booked? And she looked at my thing and goes, early. Are you Mr. Poole? I was like, yeah. She goes, it's right over there. We told her right here for you. And I was like, and the guy comes up like, Mr. Poole, hi. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even order it through them, but Regent like saw a car and was like, "Who are you here for?" Okay, when we see him come down, we'll let him know where you are. Blown
That's
away.
crazy. Like I know that that doesn't seem like a big thing, but like it kind of is though in the same breath.
It kind of is. Food, fantastic. I've been at some other brands where the food is very basic, and at home, you make fun of me because I eat it very basic at home. But when I am on vacation, I do enjoy an elevated dining experience.
Yeah,
And so this ship had a steakhouse and a French restaurant specialty. It's included. You just had to make reservations, and like it was extraordinary. I mean, I will definitely be going back on Regent. Loved it, loved it. Already have some group space helps on some stuff for next year. About to
that's
announce.
so exciting.
I was really, really blown away by it. Was just a great experience. And then that ship is an older ship. It's getting going into the dry dock next year. It's gonna look brand new. So there, we saw the ship, the Navigator, which is a baby ship. It only holds 300 people. Don't quote me on that. And it is a dry dock, and that thing looks brand new. So
That's crazy. Well, we're gonna be talking about some dry docks.
we're going to talk about dry docks. So that's kind of my summary. Fun. It wasn't as crazy. And look, every night, Haley, every night I went to bed around, 11 midnight. The club, it's like karaoke, dancing. We're still rocking.
That's so funny.
I
You
was
wouldn't
the only
think.
one going to bed.
You would
Okay.
not think in a million years that would be the situation.
I was the one going to bed. So, anyway, so you just made a quick trip down to Disney.
I
Tell us
did.
about what you did, and you didn't stay exactly on property, but somewhere really close that you love, right?
Yes. For the newer fans, I am a Disney Swan and Dolphin stan. Because they're Marriott properties, but they were grandfathered in as a Disney property, and they fill in Disney resorts usually fall in the value, moderate, and deluxe category. And then there's also deluxe villas, which are where you get some of that Disney Vacation Club, but same on the deluxe level. So the deluxe resorts will get certain amenities that the other ones don't. Extra park time, generally more convenient transportation options. And there's been some changes over the last couple years, but still overall, what I like is I can go there, be very close to, I mean, you're smack dab in between, two of the parks, Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Our room, you could actually see fireworks from
Oh, I saw your
all
Instagram. Yeah,
three in the parks. Like it's just like, and they're beautiful, huge, suite style rooms. So we're always a big fan because we're also earning Bonvoy points. Like love
right.
going to Disney, but like I travel other places and I want my points to go the distance. And out of those three properties, one is technically a Sheraton, the Dolphin's a Sheraton, the Swan is a Westin, and then the Swan Reserve is an autograph collection. So if you're looking for what those tiers look like, that's what they are. But Disney just debuted a couple weeks ago, so this is my first go at this. They have their Lightning Lane. It used to be called Fast Pass back in the day system. When you stay on Disney property, so these hotels are included on this, you can now book 3 rides per day with your Lightning Lane pass if you buy it ahead of time, up to 7 days ahead of your trip.
Okay.
So that was a very interesting piece. I wasn't sure because I kind of had the Lightning Lane down before where you would do it same day of and master through because my family does not like to wait in lines, nor do I. Hence, global entry clear.
Yep.
I don't like lines. But I was curious to see how that was going to go. And overall, I think it was a success. I think the things that you have to keep in mind if you are a Disney person and you're going this route is people on property are going to get first dibs. And I will tell you by booking mine, I did mine 7 days ahead of time. There was a ride, they redid that Splash Mountain to the Princess and the Frog theme. That was already gone by the time I'd gotten in the portal. So if you're going during a busier time of the year, you need to make sure you're setting that time. But what I do like about this new feature is it does give more of that leg up to the on resort guests.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
over the years, we've seen some changes. Like they got rid of the Magical Express. They didn't do the contract with Mears anymore. And you kind of have seen a slight decrease in a way of needs to stay on property. So I think this gives that extra leg up back into it. But overall, it was a great weekend. We did Wine and Food Festival. That was wonderful. Pretty much got everything that we wanted to do, and lots of steps to match them. So
Nice. Well, so true story, guys. Last time I was in Orlando, Haley told me to stay at that Swan Reserve. I was like, yeah, I was at my height, whatever. And then I saw on Facebook or Instagram one of the top cruise planner advisors, one of my colleagues, and he stays in nice properties, always business class, nice property. And I saw that he was there, and I was like, okay, Haley was right.
Next time.
Next time.
It is. It's a beautiful hotel, and it's mostly suites. And what I like is that they're real suites. They're separate.
Now, would you think it's
bedrooms.
okay for someone to stay there? Say they're doing a cruise in Port Canaveral, and they wanted to stay in Orlando for a night or two and have no desire to do anything Disney. Would you still say somebody could go there?
Oh, 100%. Because the thing about like the Swan and the Dolphin and the Swan Reserve in particular, it's not in your face Disney. Like all the artwork in my room is not,
Sure.
Mickey Mouse.
Sure.
They're very elegant rooms. I have videos of this on my Instagram, TikTok, and my YouTube channel of what a room tour looks like.
Okay.
They're smart, beautiful rooms. The beds, again, I know we talk about that a bit more as we get older. The beds are incredible. The service is incredible. Like I said, you get all that Marriott perks. I've been upgraded almost every single time.
That's amazing. Okay.
And that's just a Marriott Gold. Like I'm not even like titanium.
No, I'm going.
Or anything like
I'm
that. And I will say another thing too, because sometimes like theme park food and like theme park hotel room service is not great. The food options, like especially at the Swan Reserve, incredible. Like
that's awesome.
Over the moon, amazing. And you can order it in an app too. Like
love it.
It's very smart. So I love it. You'll have to do it next time.
Well, let's dig into the news. First, we have a little bit of bad news.
Yeah.
I think the response was good. So Royal Caribbean canceled this weekend, so in a couple days, sailing of the Icon of the Seas. We had been hearing some reports of some engine problems, and they finally said it cannot wait any longer. They're doing emergency repairs on it. They canceled this week's sailing. They made the following week to kind of change the itinerary. Royal Caribbean did the right thing. 100% refund and a 100% future cruise credit. So
that is doing it the right way. Now, I'm sure that bites.
Yeah, but look, they also have insurance for this too, right?
Yeah.
That's right. And look, those ships have warranties for a while.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like, what I'm saying is I'm sure that bites for the people that already had traveled.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does.
Traveled down, but also this is the perk of where travel insurance comes in handy.
Yeah, and look, and they're also, there's a lot of details. Royal's also helping pay for up to $200 if your flights and hotels, but if that exceeded it, that's where the travel insurance would be handy. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it is a quick fix and the Icon gets back to its regularly scheduled itineraries.
Absolutely.
So Haley and I have talked a lot about ITA, ITA, the Italian flag operator in Italy, airline. And the Lufthansa group is buying them. They're in the process of going Star Alliance, which is going to leave a massive hole in SkyTeam's Italy network.
Southern Europe.
Yep. It's like Air France doesn't do some of those. Virgin doesn't. So Haley and I've been like, what are they going to do? And we kept joking they're going to be Thanos and say, fine.
I almost sent you a picture of the Thanos.
Right.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy shop.
Well, Haley, that's exactly what they're doing. So they've announced a bunch of new routes, the most expansive ever across the pond. We don't have to go into all of them, but they're including more flights to Rome from other American hubs. Naples, they're going to Sicily, they're going to Milan. They are definitely picking up the slack from ITA. And I'll be honest, I'd much rather fly Delta anyways, because we've
100%.
so I think this is fantastic news. And with the whole SAS coming in, the Delta and SAS finally this week agreed on a code sharing agreement. So at delta.com, those SAS flights are starting to pop up. Like SAS has announced more nonstops from America to their hubs up in northern Europe. So I am next summer's looking pretty good
It
for
looks like we're gonna have to take a venture across here.
absolutely. And this wasn't on the program, but I'll say, speaking of Delta, I flew home on one of the new A330-900 Neos. It was only 4 years old. It was nice. I
love it. I told you that's what I did to Seattle. What was it, like 3 years ago?
It's amazing. It was nice, and I got to do
out of,
Sony.
I think, Atlanta. We went in the Neo.
Yep, I got the new amenity kit. What's inside was the same, but that case is nice.
Nice. It looks beautiful.
Like I will keep that for. It's nice with a little zip. I mean, it was just a great experience. And we always talk about how we like European airlines better. I think they're better. I will say, Delta at its best, and I'll put American and United in here as well, right? The newer properties. I'm sorry, the newer hardware. When you get a nice lounge, they can compete, right? I mean, the Delta One lounge at JFK.
I think the major annoyance that you and I have had with Delta is man, I'm doing these long hauls from Atlanta, JFK, overseas, and I am just stuck on these dinosaurs.
I know.
And you're paying good money to be stuck on these dinosaurs.
I got very lucky both ways. Air France there, Delta back, both were fairly new planes. I got
you do, because then you're walking down the jet bridge and you see all the posters of all the new hardware. I'm like, oh, must be nice. Don't know what those are.
Right. So exciting news for Delta next summer. So
this I found to be a bit wild.
I did too. So Virgin Voyages, their first ship, Scarlet Lady, time to go in dry dock soon. It debuted in 2021. So it's time for its 5-year or so dry dock. They're making some modifications, and I'm glad they are listening to feedback and they're investing. So what they're doing is they're adding more suites. The suites in Virgin sell out. People like them. So they're converting some of the regular rooms into suites. They're offering more vegetarian-friendly brunch options. They're offering some more dining options. They're adding a new Chinese-inspired menu on board. They're going to expand the casino. So I assume that's going well for them. They're going to expand the casino. They're expanding the spa services, adding a couples room, which, Haley, we've done a couples massage.
We sure have.
It was great. So they're just expanding a lot of things, like the coffee bar. They're doing a lot. So I'm really, really glad to see Virgin is listening to the feedback and making some changes.
I think the thing that I love about it is, you kind of coined it in the beginning, is the commitment to staying on top of it. Because a lot of times we see mass market lines, just, I'm going to use the dinosaur term again, still sailing these dinosaurs, and meanwhile people are just seeing the commercials for Icon, and the fact that they're actually committing to a dry dock doing these kind of changes. And I mean, the ship's 4 years old, right? Roughly.
Yep.
I appreciate that from a PIP standpoint. I mean, especially in hotel world, I live in this PIP, you need to upgrade this and that kind of feeling. So the fact that they're doing that, I think, is very impressive, to kind of keep things modern, looking nice, and I like that commitment to their clients.
I do too. So keeping with some cruise news, Viking is doing something unique in China. So they are finally sailing again in China. Actually, Tracy, my Viking rep who has been on the show, she is actually on Viking right now in China.
Oh, hi, Tracy.
I know, posting nonstop. And they're doing something kind of neat, because if you book most cruise lines in China, they are considered a cultural immersive sailing, aka we'll be speaking Chinese on board. The menus will be for the Chinese residents. The announcements will be in Chinese. Like it is for
Yeah.
it's for Chinese. So what Viking has done, and I think this kind of fits perfectly with their message of like travel the world comfortably and safely. They are doing English only speaking cruises for September. Oh, let's see, I don't have the exact dates, but it's for a couple months a year. And then they're going to transition for the rest of the year to Chinese speaking sailings. And of course, you can book either one. But I think it is so smart for people who want to go to China, want to do it with Viking. Maybe they're a little scared to, eat the food. I mean, that'd be me. To get over there. So I think that's a really neat idea that they're catering to those people who want.
Well, I think it is. And when you start getting into your non romance style languages, that's less common for people to know here. I mean, we've joked, me doing MSc over abroad, and you've done Explora. Um, the big thing to keep in mind that I think people forget is when you're going and doing cruises out of these certain areas, especially when you start getting beyond mass market like Royal Caribbean or something like that, they're not necessarily catered for you.
No.
And it's not that you can't go, and it's not that you can't do it, but like there's other people in the world, and this could be like home base, like them going out of Beijing or whatever, like that's Port Canaveral. Like over there.
It's no different than someone from China coming to America and getting on, like I said, getting on a cruise to Port
Yeah.
Canaveral, right? It's got to be English speaking. So I think that's a
I
really.
think it's awesome though, because that is a much more difficult language
Oh,
barrier. I mean, I know that when I make my jaunt to Asia, which I'm hoping is sooner than later, and I love languages, I know that that's going to be a little bit more of a shock for me, because I've been able to go around Europe knowing, Spanish, Italian, French, like, I can kind of figure out Portuguese because it romance is in there, but I haven't been in a scenario where I'm very out of the loop
we have a
linguistically.
mutual friend who just went to Japan. We put him on like a pre-cruise tour, and they did a cruise around Japan, and she was shocked by how English really wasn't prevalent, and was so thankful that I booked her private tours with like a local Japanese
Oh, 100%.
guide
I bet.
who could speak Japanese. So yeah, so I good for you, Viking. I think that's great.
I love it.
All right. So our tip of the day. So we talked about this a couple weeks or a couple months ago. The U.S. government was piloting renewing your passport online. They were doing it for just a select few people, just seeing how it went. Good news, it went well, and now all citizens can renew their passport online. Keyword here is renew, not apply.
Do you know how thankful I am for this? Because I need to do this next year.
Yep.
I'm so thankful.
I think that is wonderful. So it's going to make it even faster to do it. So if you need to renew your passport, you can do it online. Easy, easy, easy. So I think that is great news.
Yeah, I'm going to like have a little, like, I'm gonna light a candle, like memorial service, because this passport that I'm gonna be finishing out next year, I've done a lot in the last 10 years.
Yep.
Like, and just, and especially we know that people are going away from stamps and stuff, and it's like, wow. Wow. Wow.
I got stamps in and out of France because that was my point of entry and departure. So I got stamps both ways at Charles de Gaulle. So.
It just, I think it's a little humbling at the same time, because like I always used to think when I got this one, because I was finally in like my mid-20s starting to make a little bit more money, and I was like, man, who can fill up these pages? And I'm like,
yeah.
It's looking there's not a whole lot of room left in this passport.
Not at all. So, well, guys, thank you so much for joining, and hope you enjoyed us talking all things about news, Disney Regent. We're here every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So that's a wrap, and we'll be back next week.
All right. Bye, guys.